Hello, this is MMR, and this is the movie The Trap. The film begins in a car where firefighter Cooper is driving his teenage daughter Riley to a concert of her favorite singer, Lady Raven, who took her stage name from the Raven bird. While waiting in line, Cooper notices that there are too many SWAT officers guarding the entrances and exits, but he doesn't dwell on it. As they take their seats, Cooper observes that there are so many cops in the building that it seems like all teenagers have been declared the #1 national threat. Amid the enthusiastic cheers, Lady Raven begins her performance, whose main artistic achievement is being born to a talented film director. While his daughter enjoys the spectacle with other fans, Cooper excuses himself to the restroom, where he pulls out his phone in an empty stall. He checks a surveillance camera aimed at a captive young man named Spencer, who is trapped in some building. Meanwhile, trucks filled with fresh SWAT teams are arriving at the concert complex. An elderly FBI profiler, Dr. Grant, is leading the operation. Returning to the hall, Cooper watches the artist perform a lyrical ballad in the dim light. He notices cops escorting some men out of the hall for checks. During the intermission, he and his daughter go to buy a souvenir t-shirt, which unfortunately runs out. Taking advantage of a moment of trust, Cooper asks the vendor why there are so many police in the building. It turns out that under the cover of the concert, the feds want to catch a serial killer known as the Butcher. The FBI has information that he will attend the concert, along with a vague description of the suspect, a middle-aged white man. Cooper strolls through the building with his daughter, scouting potential escape routes, but there are cops everywhere. He even deliberately shoves a drunken fan down the stairs to distract security and check if he can slip away. But there are also cops outside. Soon the intermission ends, and the singer invites a colleague on stage for a duet. He appears from a basement on a retractable staircase. Seizing the chance, Cooper suggests to his daughter that they sneak back there to see the backstage, but she refuses. She's interested in the performance. So he leaves her behind and returns to the vendor for the promised t-shirt. The vendor leads him to a locked technical corridor. During this, Cooper subtly steals the vendor's keycard. Using the card, he sneaks into another room where the special forces are holding a briefing on his capture. Donning a pass, he walks through the crowd of federal agents, and after handing one of them sugar, heads back while casually grabbing a radio tuned to the police frequency. Returning to the hall, he puts an earpiece in and listens to the FBI's communications to understand their plan. They are looking for suitable suspects and checking everyone one by one. When he excuses himself to check on his daughter again while wandering the corridors, Cooper spots a guarded exit to the roof. He sets off a diversion by overheating a potato fryer. When it explodes from the heat, distracting the cops, he grabs a nearby apron and, posing as a cook, heads to the roof. But there, special forces are already on guard. The man deftly navigates the precarious situation without revealing himself. After descending, he passes by a girl injured in the fryer explosion, meeting his disappointed daughter upon his return. Cooper agrees to watch the concert with her. During this, he has another brilliant idea. He approaches the singer's uncle and lies to him, saying that Riley recently overcame leukemia to evoke sympathy and convince him to invite her on stage as a special guest. The plan works, and Cooper and his daughter are led past a column of special forces to the backstage, receiving honorary guest badges. The star's assistant instructs Riley on when and where to go on stage, while her father keeps a vigilant eye out for an escape route. After the concert ends, the honorary guests remain backstage, as Lady Raven wants to meet them personally. Seizing the moment, Cooper again listens in on the police frequency. He realizes that the situation is getting dire. Men are not being released without checks, and all exits are blocked, making it impossible to slip away unnoticed. He then decides to take a desperate step, asking the singer for a moment of one-on-one time. There, he admits to her that he is indeed the butcher everyone is looking for. As proof, Cooper shows the surveillance footage of Spencer, his new victim, whom he can kill at the press of a button. And if Lady Raven does not help them escape the concert building, his death will be on her conscience. Moved by the seriousness of the situation, the singer decides to help the killer. She leads him and his daughter past the special forces, then drives them away in her limousine while the other audience members are being filtered out at the exit. Once the car has driven far enough, Cooper suggests taking a walk with his daughter, but suddenly Lady Raven asks Riley if she can come to her house. This doesn't sit well with Cooper, as the singer will learn the killer's address. However, he can't upset his happy daughter meeting her idol. After receiving consent, the limousine heads to their home in the suburbs, where the second half of the family, Cooper's wife Rachel and their son Logan, are already waiting, despite the father's underlying animosity, which he carefully conceals. The singer is invited inside for dinner. She talks about the operation to catch the butcher. The authorities learned that the killer was planning to attend her concert, and they found one of his hideouts based on an anonymous tip, where they also discovered a ticket receipt for the concert. Having heard much praise about herself, Cooper wants to see the guest off, but she stalls, suggesting they play a song together on the family piano with Riley. While the happy girl plays along with the star, her father records the moment on his phone. After they finish, Lady Raven suggests taking a selfie, grabbing Cooper's smartphone for the purpose. After the photo, she quickly asks to use the restroom, not returning the device. Despite all his pleas, the killer dares not reveal himself in front of the family. The girl activates the surveillance app, and through the two-way communication, she learns from Spencer that his captor is holding him in a house with a blue door near a broken lion statue. Lady Raven starts a live stream, telling her followers that they need to find that place and then call the police. She also texts her driver to summon the cops. All this time, Cooper politely knocks on the door without breaking it down. By the end of the conversation, the killer finally opens the door, but the family is no longer there. He has locked them in an upstairs room. Checking his phone, the killer realizes that Spencer has already been rescued, and there's no one in the room. He plans to leave with the singer. Getting into the car, he admits that he understands he is an abnormal monster and plans to kill himself at some point. Raising the gates, he sees his entire family outside, frightened and confused about what is happening. Handcuffed, Cooper lets Lady Raven go while he stays in the house waiting for the police. The singer climbs into the limousine, watching the house storm from there. However, inside, the feds find only a secret underground tunnel through which the cunning killer has managed to escape. Lady Raven's limousine pulls away. After driving a safe distance, it stops, and it turns out that Cooper is behind the wheel, disguised as a special forces officer. He handcuffs the star and then drives her to his next hideout. Stuck in traffic, the killer sees the girl break free and escape into a safe crowd of fans. Following this, special forces arrive at the scene and surround the limousine. The feds tell the driver to come out and surrender. Not waiting for a response, the special forces open fire. But it turns out there is no one inside. Cooper, disguised in Lady Raven's merchandise, has already blended in with the onlookers and walks away from the scene unharmed. Rachel, Cooper's wife, having sent the kids to relatives, returns home. Dr. Grant warns her that police are stationed outside just in case. Nevertheless, the guards do not prevent the killer from entering his own home to talk to his terrified wife. Cooper wonders how he, so clever, could have been caught out by forgotten ticket receipts. Rachel admits she's involved in this. She noticed her husband behaving weird, but she thought he's just cheating on her. However, when he easily and casually lied to someone in her presence, she realized she didn't know him at all. Connecting the dots and following her husband to one of his hideouts, the woman figured out that he was the butcher. So, she slipped the receipts into his lair and anonymously alerted the police, which led to the chain of events. Cooper, with intention to chop his wife into pieces, is interrupted when she suggests they eat cake one last time. The killer agrees, unaware that his wife has cleverly slipped drugs from his bag into his portion. His coordination falters and visions of his mother appear. She tells him she is proud of him. Cooper approaches his mother but falls into the hands of the FBI, who open fire with tasers. When the criminal is brought outside, handcuffed, he asks for a moment to fix his daughter's fallen bicycle. At that moment, the cops bring Riley home. The girl runs to her loving father for one last hug. Cooper is locked in a truck and taken to prison. On the way, he pulls a bicycle spoke from his shirt sleeve, which he broke off while lifting his daughter's bike, and easily unlocks his handcuffs, smiling at the camera. On that moment, the movie ends. Thank you for watching.